The laughter was so sharp it felt like scissors cutting skin. Maya, 52, stood frozen by the mirror, hair wet, cape still fastened around her neck, as the stylist waved a clump of gray strands in the air like it was a joke. "See, girls," said Tamrin, the lead stylist, twirling the brush. "This is what happens when you give up. Dry, brittle, and screaming retirement home." The interns laughed. Customers glanced away. The manager pretended not to hear. Maya's hands trembled under the cape. She had saved for 3 months for this appointment. A birthday gift to herself. A fresh start after surviving divorce and chemo. Tamrin clucked her tongue. "I mean, I could do a cut, but this hair's got more trauma than a soap opera." The room chuckled. Maya stood. "I think I'll just..." "Sit, honey. I'm not done." "No," Maya whispered. "You are." She unfastened the cape herself and turned to leave, shoulders tight, breath shallow. Just as she reached the front desk, a quiet voice spoke behind her. "Excuse me." The room fell still, because the man who'd just spoken was wearing a hoodie and jeans. But his face was unmistakable. Keanu Reeves. He stood from the waiting chair, calm and grounded. "I'm next, right?" he said to the stunned receptionist. "I'll wait for her stylist. The one who just gave up." Tamrin blinked. What? "If she's too broken for beauty," he said, "then I'd like to look just like her." Everyone was silent. Keanu walked toward Maya, not to save her, but to stand beside her. And everything in the salon shifted. Tamrin's hands shook as she fastened the cape around Keanu's neck. The room had gone still. Even the curling irons seemed to quiet. "So, what are we doing today?" she asked, forcing a chuckle. "I'd like the exact same thing you were planning for Maya," Keanu replied calmly. "Same shampoo. Same tools. Same commentary." Tamrin froze. I wasn't. You said her hair screamed, retirement home." He tilted his head slightly. "Should I be worried mine's not youthful enough for your standards?" A nervous laugh from somewhere in the room. Quickly silenced. Keanu leaned back slightly, eyes gentle but unwavering. "Do you always speak to your clients like that?" "Only when they don't take care of themselves. I mean..." "You think Maya doesn't take care of herself?" Tamrin swallowed. "No, I just meant it wasn't salon ready." "Do you know why her hair's thinner on the sides?" Keanu's voice was low, but each word landed like weight. 6 months. The color drained from Tamrin's face. Keanu didn't scold her. He didn't look angry. Just disappointed. And somehow, that was worse. "People don't come here to be reminded of what they've lost," he said. "They come hoping someone will notice what they've survived." In the mirror, Tamrin saw herself. Not the curated version. Not the filtered selfies. The actual reflection. And for the first time in years, she looked uncomfortable. Keanu removed the cape gently and stood. "I think I'll skip the cut." He turned to Maya, who still stood near the front desk, stunned. "If you're open to it," he said, "I know a stylist down the street who works with cancer patients. Quiet place. Real kindness. My treat." Maya nodded slowly, tears just behind her lashes. They walked out together, no rush, no spectacle. Just two people who had learned to see one another. Behind them, silence. Then the intern softly unplugged Tamrin's flat iron and whispered, "You should apologize before the world does it for you." By that evening, the salon's Instagram page was flooded with comments. "You humiliated a cancer survivor? How dare you laugh at someone's grief?" Keanu Reeves stood up. "Why didn't your manager?" Tamrin's phone vibrated nonstop. Her DMs were full of heat. Influencers she once collaborated with unfollowed. Even a local news anchor reposted the story with the hashtag dignity over style. So she did what most people do when cornered. She crafted a carefully worded post. Polished. Publicist reviewed. With just the right ratio of accountability to deflection. At our salon, we value every client's journey. Yesterday, an incident occurred that does not reflect our values. We apologize to Maya and anyone affected. We are learning. We are growing. We are listening. The comments doubled. But this time, not in her favor. You're not growing. You're spinning. Post the apology. Then go apologize in person. And that stuck in her mind. The next day, Tamrin did something no one expected. She walked into a tiny salon 3 blocks away. The kind without mood lighting. Where the shelves held real-life products, not curated aesthetics. Where the stylist wore Crocs and a smile. And where Maya sat in the chair, wrapped in a soft gray cape, getting her hair softly shaped. Keanu sat nearby, reading a magazine, quiet as ever. Maya saw Tamrin in the mirror. Froze. So did the stylist. Keanu lowered the magazine. Tamrin spoke. I came to say I'm sorry. Not in comments. Here. Silence. But you don't owe me a word, she said to Maya. But I needed to say it anyway. Maya looked at her through the mirror. Not with forgiveness. Not with rage. With something deeper. Recognition. You weren't the first to make me feel small, she said. But maybe you can be the last if you mean it. Tamrin nodded. Then turned to leave. As she stepped outside, Keanu followed. He handed her a folded napkin. Not a prop. Not staged. Just ink, written by hand. You don't lose credibility when you fall. You lose it when you refuse to kneel and say you did. Tamrin exhaled. For the first time in a long time, she wasn't trying to look like a better person. She was finally trying to be one. 3 days later, the small salon buzzed softly. No pop music. No fluorescent lights. Just the low hum of scissors, conversation, and something else. Trust. Maya sat in the center chair, a soft pixie cut now framing her face. She wore a loose cardigan and a silver pin in the shape of a phoenix. Not a fashion statement. A symbol. Keanu was there again. Not as a customer, but as a volunteer. He quietly swept floors between clients. Offered tea. Even folded towels without fanfare. No one treated him like a movie star here. And that seemed to be exactly why he returned. Tamrin stood at the doorway, hesitant. She had texted Maya, unsure if she should come. The reply was short, but direct. If you're coming to learn, not lead, come. Inside, Maya turned toward the spare station. It's open, she said. If you're ready. Tamrin blinked. You're letting me cut again? No, Maya replied. I'm letting you listen while you do. The pause. To hair. To people. To the parts you missed the first time. Tamrin walked slowly to the chair beside Maya's. Picked up a brush like it was sacred. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from humility. As she began a simple trim on a young woman who had lost her eyebrows to a thyroid condition, she didn't speak much. But she didn't joke either. She just asked, "What do you want to feel when this is done?" And the girl whispered, "Like me." Tamrin nodded. "Then we'll cut until that's what you see." Across the room, Keanu looked up, smiled, faint and genuine, and folded another towel. After the last client left, Maya handed Tamrin a slip of paper folded into a small square. Tamrin opened it. It wasn't a receipt. It wasn't a bill. It simply read, "The seat you sat in wasn't taken from you. It was waiting for you to come back the right way." And on the corner of the paper, a napkin torn diagonally with one quiet initial. 2 weeks later, a hand-painted sign appeared on the front window of the small salon. Quiet hours, Wednesdays 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. For guests healing from trauma, overstimulation, or simply in need of peace. No buzzers. No chatter. No pressure to make conversation. Just presence. The idea spread quickly. A few shared it on social media as something beautiful. But not everyone understood. One popular influencer reposted the sign with a sneering caption. "Can't even get your hair done without making it a therapy session now? Y'all need to toughen up." The post got thousands of likes. Snide comments poured in. Next up, cry cuts. Do they hand out tissues with every trim? What happened to just getting a haircut and moving on? Tamrin saw the post. Her hands curled into fists. "I should reply." "Don't," Maya said softly. "Let the silence answer for itself." But Keanu, who had been quietly restocking shelves, stepped forward. He didn't post a paragraph. He didn't start a debate. He posted one photo. An old image. From years ago. A younger Keanu, sitting in a salon chair after filming wrapped on a particularly grueling shoot. Dark circles under his eyes. Exhaustion in his posture. Eyes closed. No caption. Just the hashtag. Hashtag some cuts are for it. The internet froze. Then it shifted. Comments changed tone. I remember needing a haircut after my mother passed. I didn't want to talk. Just needed to feel human again. My son has autism. These quiet hours are everything. Healing happens when people feel safe. Even if it's just in a chair for 20 minutes. The influencer deleted their post. The salon's booking list filled for the next 6 Wednesdays. Not with trend chasers, but with people who understood what it meant to be seen without being studied. Later, Keanu found a folded napkin taped beside the mirror in the break room. This one wasn't from him. It was from Maya. Silence isn't weakness. It's a room where kindness can finally be heard. Her name was Elsa. 30. Deaf since birth. She entered the salon during a Wednesday quiet hour, clutching a folded paper in both hands. Her eyes moved quickly, scanning the room, unsure where to land. Maya greeted her with a gentle nod and outstretched hand. No words. Just welcome. Elsa handed over the paper. Written in neat, careful print. Hello. I'm here for a haircut. I don't speak. I read lips, a little. I hope that's okay. Maya smiled and took her to the chair. Pointed to the mirror. Held her own hand to her heart. Then gave a thumbs up. Keanu stood nearby. He didn't interrupt. Just quietly set down a tray of tea and soft pastries next to the chair. Elsa noticed. She smiled back at him, small but clear. He signed 2 words slowly. You're safe. She blinked. Then signed back. Thank you. As Maya began trimming, she mimed each movement gently. Brushed Elsa's shoulder before each shift. Tilted her head in question before every layer. They barely spoke, but something passed between them. Like music, but made of attention. After 20 quiet minutes, Elsa's posture softened. She touched her new reflection with her fingertips, blinking back emotion. Then reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a small notepad. She wrote, "This is the first time I've ever felt completely seen in a salon." Maya wrote back, "You changed how we understand quiet." Elsa smiled, then turned to Keanu. Wrote something. Tore the paper. Handed it to him. He unfolded it, read it, and nodded with reverence. After she left, he taped the note to the mirror. Being heard has nothing to do with sound. And in Keanu's handwriting below, he'd added, "Some people speak with scissors. Others with silence." From that day forward, the salon added a small sticker to the front door. A simple icon. 2 hands gently folded, the universal sign for quiet connection. Not a rule. A promise. The email arrived on a Thursday. From Luxe Style, one of the biggest beauty and culture magazines in the country. They'd heard whispers. A tiny salon in the city where Keanu Reeves volunteered. Where silence was sacred. Where cancer survivors and trauma patients came not just for cuts, but for care. They wanted a feature. The team showed up the next week. Cameras. Ring lights. Clipboards with buzzwords like virality, rebranding, and hero narrative. Keanu greeted them warmly, but firmly. "We can do this," he said, "if we agree it's not about me." The team chuckled. "But Keanu, that is the story." He didn't laugh. "No. The story's in that chair. And the one behind it. And the one who couldn't speak but taught us how to listen." They agreed. Reluctantly. But the photographers still focused on Keanu. The reporters still leaned on celebrity moments. Maya and Tamron gave quiet, honest interviews. Ty helped set up lights. Elsa even returned, signing to the journalist with slow patience. 2 weeks later, the article dropped online. The title? Keanu Reeves and the Healing Haircut, inside the actor's surprising new role. The opening photo? Keanu, alone sweeping the floor. No Maya. No team. No mention of the quiet hours until paragraph 9. Tamron read it first. "They erased us," she said quietly. Maya nodded. "They told the story they thought people would click." Tai added bitterly. Turns out healing's only marketable if a famous guy's holding the scissors. Keanu sat at the corner table, phone in hand. He read every word. Then stood. We're not correcting them, he said. We're telling the real story ourselves. That night he posted a photo on his rarely used Instagram. Just a wide-angle shot of the team. Maya, Tamrin, Tai, Elsa, Shauna, all mid-action. Sweeping, cutting, laughing, living. His caption was simple. They asked for a feature. They forgot the foundation. This is the story. He tagged the salon's new account, @QuietCheers, and added, #NotAboutMe. The post went viral. Within 24 hours, the salon gained 200,000 followers. Not because Keanu posed, because he stepped aside. On the wall behind the front desk, someone framed the article. But they didn't center Keanu's image. They highlighted the paragraph about Maya, the one buried halfway down, and taped a napkin next to it. In bold black marker, it read, "Fame is loud. But legacy? Legacy listens." His name was Graham Whitfield. Worth 9 figures. Used to being waited on. Not used to hearing the word, no. He booked the entire salon for a private cut during what was supposed to be quiet hour. Double the rate. Triple the ego. He arrived 10 minutes late, phone in hand, sunglasses on indoors. Didn't greet anyone. Didn't remove his Bluetooth earpiece. Let's make this quick. Cut, touch up the beard, clean the brows. And coffee. Strong. He waved a dismissive hand at Maya. You look seasoned. Handle it. Maya blinked once. Stepped back from her chair. No, thank you. Graham looked up. Excuse me? I don't cut people who treat the room like it belongs to them. The room froze. He scoffed. I'm paying for this time. You paid for the space, Maya replied. Not for disrespect. Tamrin stepped forward. I'll take over. But Maya touched her arm gently. No. We don't teach women to adjust to ego. We teach ego to adjust to the room. Graham laughed, but it didn't land. He turned, suddenly realizing Keanu was sitting in the corner, quietly folding towels. You okay with this? Graham asked him. Keanu stood. Slowly. More than okay. He stepped beside Maya. You paid for a haircut, he said gently. But kindness? That's not for sale here. Graham opened his mouth, closed it, looked around, and for once, found no allies. Just calm, silence, and truth. He left 5 minutes later. Didn't yell. Didn't slam the door. Just disappeared back into a world where he was used to being important. That evening, a folded napkin appeared on Maya's station. Not signed. Just left gently. You don't need volume to take up space. You just need the courage to stand still when the money walks in. The next day, Maya posted the salon's new policy. Respect is our only non-negotiable. And just beneath it, handwritten in red marker. No matter who's in the chair. The invitation arrived on thick, cream-colored stationery. Guest speaker, Maya D. A story of resilience, transformation, and Keanu Reeves. It was from a prestigious beauty academy across the city. A graduation ceremony. Full auditorium. A perfect PR piece. Maya nearly declined. But Tamrin encouraged her. They need to hear you. Not the version with headlines, you. So she went. The ceremony opened with claps and flashbulbs. Grads with perfect makeup and trembling hands held their certificates, faces glowing with ambition. Then the host stepped on stage. And now, a woman whose story captured hearts around the world. The salon worker discovered by none other than Keanu Reeves. Maya stood backstage, heart sinking. She stepped forward. But not smiling. Not waving. At the podium, she paused. Looked out over the rows of fresh faces. Let's correct something right now. A quiet ripple in the crowd. I wasn't discovered. I was just finally seen. Silence. Keanu didn't make me famous. He made space for a story most people ignore. But the healing? The work? The hours of showing up? That was mine. A few grads leaned forward, listening harder now. I didn't survive chemo for applause. I didn't come back to cutting hair so I could trend online. I came back because people still need to be treated like they matter, before they pay, before they speak, even before they believe it themselves. Soft claps grew into a standing ovation. Maya held up a hand gently. Sit down. This isn't the end of a movie. Laughter. Then she smiled. You're about to enter a world that values image. So remember, your job isn't to fix how someone looks. It's to remind them they were never broken. After the speech, a student approached her, eyes shining. I used to be ashamed of my mother's gray hair. Now I want to take her for a cut and tell her it's beautiful. Maya handed her a folded napkin. Give her this. Real beauty doesn't knock on the door. It's already in the house, waiting to be welcomed back. And beneath it, faint but unmistakable. The email was full of sparkle. From Leora Cosmetics, one of the fastest growing beauty brands in the world. They wanted Maya. Not just for a partnership. For a campaign. Billboards. Videos. Magazine spreads. They called her authentic. They called her inspiring. They said her story bridged generations. Then came the attachments. The contract was long. The expectations longer. No mention of cancer recovery. Hair must be dyed prior to photo shoots. Wardrobe will be provided to match target demographic appeal. Narrative tone to focus on Keanu's involvement, with brand synergy. Maya sat in her quiet kitchen, the contract open beside a cold cup of tea. Across from her, Keanu looked up from folding towels, something he'd insisted on doing at her place while they reviewed the offer. You gonna sign it? Maya didn't speak for a while. But they want my presence, not my past. Keanu nodded once. Then they don't want you. The next morning, Maya walked into the salon. The team had already gathered, Tamrin, Tai, Shauna, Elsa. She placed the contract on the counter, then calmly ran a pair of shears through it. Snip, snip, snip. Tamrin blinked. They'll think you're crazy. Maya smiled. No. They'll think I was expensive. She typed a reply later that afternoon. Thank you for your interest. I don't represent beauty. I represent healing. And healing doesn't come in 3 shades of blonde and a slogan. She ended it with, my story isn't a marketing tool. It's a mirror. And not everyone's ready to look in it. Keanu reposted her letter on his page with just 3 words. Brand, Maya. That night, taped to the back of the mirror, someone had left a napkin with shimmering gold ink. You don't become a symbol by being seen. You become one by refusing to disappear. The bell above the salon door chimed softly. Maya didn't look up right away. She was trimming a child's bangs, a girl too shy to meet her reflection, who kept whispering, just a little. I don't want to look different. So Maya leaned low, face near the child's, and said, we're not changing how you look. We're just reminding you what already looked good. The girl smiled. That's when Maya looked toward the door. And saw her. Heather Colburn. Perfect teeth. Even better memory. In high school, Heather was the girl who never touched Maya, but made sure her friends knew where to aim their cruelty. Mouse hair. Charity case. She smells like dollar store shampoo. Now she stood in the doorway. Older. Tired. Holding her purse with both hands like a shield. She saw Maya. Froze. Maya finished with the little girl. Waved her off with a lollipop and a wink. Then turned fully toward Heather. We're open. Heather stepped forward slowly. I didn't know this was your place. Maya tilted her head. But you came anyway? I heard about what you do. I didn't know who else to ask. Her voice cracked. My daughter's starting chemo. And she's terrified to lose her hair. Silence. Waited. Then Maya pointed gently to a chair. Let's start with you. So you know how to help her. Heather's eyes filled with tears. You'd really? Maya nodded. You made me feel small once. But I survived. So today, I'm going to help you make your daughter feel strong. As she brushed through Heather's hair, she spoke not about revenge, but resilience. She taught her how to tie scarves. How to frame a face with softness. How to sit next to someone in pain without trying to fix it. An hour later, Heather wept quietly into the mirror. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Maya didn't say, "It's okay," because it hadn't been. But she did say, "You get to be better now." Heather left with a small care kit in hand. And a quiet mind. That night, taped to the backroom mirror, was a napkin written in a shakier hand than usual. "You can't change what hurt you, but you can change what it teaches someone else." Below it was a slow Tuesday. Maya had just finished folding towels when Ty asked her to step into the back. "We need your eye on something." "New signage." She followed, distracted, still mentally checking tomorrow's appointments. The back door opened, and the lights clicked on. Every member of the team stood inside. Tamron, Elsa, Shauna, even clients from past months. Even Heather. And Keanu, off to the side. Hoodie up. Hands in pockets. The walls were lined with photos. Not of Maya. Of clients. Before and after. But not in looks, in posture. In spirit. Each one held a handwritten card with a note. "She made me feel whole. She listened when no one else did. She cut my hair, but healed my shame." Ty stepped forward. "You never wanted a plaque. So we gave you something else." He pointed to the corner. A single empty chair. Polished. Quiet. Unoccupied. Above it, a small engraved sign. "The Maya chair. Reserved for those who need to remember they matter." Maya covered her mouth. Tears spilled quietly. Keanu stepped forward. Handed her a small box. Inside, a folded apron. So faded. Familiar. But stitched into the inside seam, in careful cursive. "You didn't cut hair. You opened doors." She didn't give a speech. She just smiled through tears, hugged each person in the room, and finally sat down in the Maya chair. Not as a stylist, but as someone who had made a place. Later that night, when the lights were off and the team had gone, Keanu walked in alone. He placed a folded napkin on the mirror. This one had only 2 lines. "She never needed to be seen. She just needed us to start looking." Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, leave a comment. Have you ever been underestimated or judged by your appearance? How did you find your voice again? Speech Balloon, let us know how you would have responded in Maya's place. And share this with someone who reminds you of her strength. Backhand index pointing right, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more cinematic real-life inspired stories with Keanu Reeves. Because sometimes, the quietest people in the room are the ones who leave the loudest legacy.